All right, folks, I'm Tom Downey. Go follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more Cowboys coverage. And you are watching the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Let's talk now, since we're in the offseason, about the Cowboys' 2019 team needs. As of right now, slated to have about $52 million in cap space. That will fluctuate based on some futures contracts that have been signed already and what the actual salary cap comes into and other moves and whatnot. And you can easily free up another $15 million. So we'll call it 65. That's your projected number in total. Now, the Cowboys do not have a first-round pick this year. That's a big flaw there. They will get an extra, at least should get an extra fourth-round pick from Deontay Thompson's release and from the comp process and all that. So that's where the Cowboys are sitting. Now, we'll break down all of their top team needs. I'll make note, I do factor in pending free agency. So you'll see some needs that might be higher than you would think just because the Cowboys will make obvious moves. But for now, they do still remain as team needs, like defensive end. You bring back DeMarcus Lawrence, who is a free agent, and you're fine. You can get some more depth. You can always add edge rushers, be it 5th, 6th round, 7th round, whatever. But signing or tagging DeMarcus Lawrence is your #1 priority. If you lose him, I don't want to go into next year with Tyrone Crawford, Randy Gregory, and Taco Charlton as my top 3 defensive ends. You need that war daddy, as Jerry Jones calls him. That's what DeMarcus Lawrence is. Now, looking beyond just this year, Lawrence, of course, is a free agent. Randy Gregory, through 2019, then becomes a restricted free agent. Taco, Dorrance, and Crawford, they're all locked up for a couple more years as well. Taco, of course, has that 5th-year option, which as of right now, I don't know if the Cowboys would actually use that on him. All right, folks, if you haven't already, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. If you're watching on Facebook, there's the link right there. If you're watching on YouTube, just hit the button. We'll have news, rumors, NFL draft, free agency coverage all off-season long, and, of course, our fan-led content like our mailbag and our fan rumors. All right, moving on now to the other Cowboys 2019 team needs. How about wide receiver? And again, free agency playing a big factor there. I think in Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, you are locked in with your top 2 guys. But beyond that, it's a fairly large question mark. Cole Beasley, Tavon Austin, both of them are free agents. And Terrence Williams, I assume he'll be cut, and Allen Hurns could also be cut. So you could enter, if you're the Cowboys, this offseason needing a new number 3 and a new number 4 receiver. That's very much within the realm of possibility. Now, there are some guys on the roster that will compete for those roles, namely Noah Brown. All right, he can be your number 4, number 5 guy. Cedric Wilson is still on the roster after being placed on IR as an IR stash this year. Lance Lenore, I don't really love him, but the Cowboys seem to trust him, so he's an option there as well. So Cooper, Gallup are locked in as your top 2 guys. Then you're looking for another slot guy potentially as well. Could it be Cole Beasley or Tavon Austin if those guys are brought back? But if not, you need a new slot guy probably fairly early in the NFL draft. So should the Cowboys re-sign Cole Beasley? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I love what Cole Beasley brings to an NFL roster, but I truly think he's going to command about $10 million per year. I really think he's going to get that on the open market. He gets open. Cowboys just don't use him well under Scott Linehan. So if you can get him cheaper, I say yes, but with deals coming up for Dak Prescott and DeMarcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper himself and Byron Jones and Zeke Elliott, I lean more towards no. The Cowboys aren't going to re-sign Cole Beasley. All right, number 3, a need I have pounded the table on for quite a while, and now everyone's come around after the Rams game, so welcome to the Cowboys desperately needed a defensive tackle hype train. I am your conductor. David Irving, he is a free agent. I think he's gone. Karan Reed and Dayton Jones are also free agents. You need an impact defensive tackle. I like Malik Collins. I like Antoine Woods. Collins has one more left on his deal after this season. Antoine Woods will be an RFA in 2020. So you have Woods for a while. Daniel Ross, ERFA. You look at the depth chart. Yeah, Tyrone Crawford can play DT as well. You need an impact guy. The Cowboys, you want David Irving guy who can actually be on the field like David Irving is. So if I'm the Cowboys in a really good defensive line class, even though receiver might be a bigger need, I think it might make more sense depending on how free agency goes. Spend your second-round pick on a really good DT, and then in round 3, maybe you look for a wide receiver or just an offensive, skill position guy like a tight end, for example. Tight end is number 4 on my team needs list here. Jeff Swaim, he's a free agent. Schultz and Jarwin both showed promise, but don't forget the Cowboys have been vocal about their desire for help at the tight end spot. So if Swaim stays, you're probably just going to roll with those three guys again. If he leaves, the Cowboys don't bring him back. Is that duo of Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin enough? I don't know if it is. By the way, as for Rico Gathers, I think his time is finally up as a member of the Dallas Cowboys. He was on the roster all year, but never ended up making a big impact and had a target against the Rams, and he dropped the pass because, well, maybe that's why Rico Gathers wasn't actually playing at all this entire time. So is the Schultz and Jarwin duo enough at tight end? Type Y for yes, type N for no. It happens to be a really good tight end class. I think at some point you'll take a tight end to at least be your number 3. I also say maybe don't draft a tight end in round 2, not because there aren't good guys, but tight ends in round 2 are forever cursed for the Dallas Cowboys. They just never end up getting a good player. All right, number 5, how about safety? Now look, the top 3 are all coming back next year. And then your number 4, Darian Thompson, he is a restricted free agent. So if you're the Cowboys, you're not looking for just, we need a number 2 safety. You don't really actually want another number 2 because you have, I think, those guys right now in Xavier Woods and Jeff Heath. What you need is a legit number 1, looking at you, Earl Thomas, Landon Collins, or a very high NFL draft pick. Or maybe you just wait a year and get some extra depth and you spend a 4th or a 5th round pick on somebody. So Xavier Woods under contract through 2020. You have Jeff Heath for a while. You don't need to cut Jeff Heath anytime soon. Kevon Frazier didn't actually play all that much, but I think he's a decent enough number 3 or number 4. Thompson, Showers, some other guys as well. Look, those guys aren't great options at safety. I don't think they make a ton of sense for the Dallas Cowboys in the end as like legit options. So if you're the Cowboys, you don't actually desperately need to get somebody, but you do want somebody, I think, very, very quickly. I think that makes a lot of sense there for the Dallas Cowboys to get either an elite player or more depth, but you don't want to kind of get caught in the middle ground of getting another Jeff Heath type. So do you want the Cowboys to go big in free agency at this spot? Should they sign Earl Thomas or Landon Collins? Type A for yes, type B for no. I am open to Earl Thomas. I always have been. But the more and more I think about it, the more and more I think that, you know what, maybe he'll price himself out of the Cowboys price tag. I almost wonder if Steven Jones' comments about not signing anybody was actually the negotiation process beginning for Earl Thomas. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's number 1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Put down $100, and they'll give you $120. $500 gets you $600 in extra betting money on BetDSI, but you got to use chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys120. All right, some more needs. Offensive tackle. You can almost call this offensive line in general, but I focus on tackle here because I think you're fine at guard. I think you're fine at center, assuming Frederick comes back, and you have the depth at those spots in reality with guys under contract like Joe Looney and like Xavier Su'a-Filo, just backups. But tackle, things get a little bit dicier. All right, Cam Fleming, he is a free agent. There are questions about Tyron Smith's health long-term, and La'el Collins is now in the last year of his contract. So you look at the O-line depth chart, I think you actually kind of go 6 deep on the offensive line, 7 if you want to include Adam Redmond in terms of the interior. But tackle, you only are locked in for 2 deep right now. I would like the Cowboys to spend at least a mid-round pick on a swing tackle that maybe you can develop in case La'el Collins walks next year. I focus on offensive tackle, and once you tag DeMarcus Lawrence, this will in reality will be a top 5 need for the Cowboys. Really, 6 through 4, tight end, safety, offensive line, that's pretty flexible for me in terms of need priority. All right, number 7, a bit of a drop-off here, but still a need. That is running back. Rod Smith, he is a free agent. He might not be back. I think the Cowboys would be wise to get a change of pace back. I think a mid to late round pick, round 4, round 5, round 6, and maybe not quite as good a halfback class as last year, makes a lot of sense for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we know Zeke is locked up through 2020. We do know that, right? Because franchise tag, not even including franchise tag, but 5th-year option. I know he wants a new deal. Cowboys have his control for a while. But Rod Smith, he's a free agent. Darius Jackson, Jordan Chun, are those really your backups? I don't think so. So even if you re-sign Rod Smith to a 1-year deal, I assume, I would like a 4th or a 5th round pick spent on a change of pace back, a guy that can back up Zeke Elliott. All right, number 8, how about linebacker? And again, much like running back, this is not about finding a new starter per se. I think you're fine with what you have right now, although maybe it should be a bit higher because Damian Wilson, he's a starter, technically only plays about 20 snaps a game. He's a free agent. Justin March Lillard, he's a free agent. Both those guys are FAs. Sean Lee's time could be over. All of a sudden, you only kind of go 4 deep at linebacker with Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, Joe Thomas, rookie Chris Covington, and undrafted free agent pick Kyle Cairo. So you want depth. Go spend a 5th or a 6th round pick on a linebacker. Go sign another cheap veteran like you had Joe Thomas, or go bring back Wilson or JML. In the end, though, it's not a big need to me because for the most part, teams play nickel packages. You only need 2 linebackers out there. Although he didn't play all that much, I do still like having Joe Thomas. So depth is needed at linebacker, but you don't want to pay a big price tag for a, number 3, number 4 linebacker next year? I don't think it's worth it in today's NFL. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Go to chatsports.com/bet. We'll take you right to the site. Then use promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Put down $100, they'll give you $120. It's the best deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys120. All right, a few more needs left. We'll spend a little bit less time on these for obvious reasons. Quarterback. Dak is the starter. We're not going to have any discussion about it. That's the reality of the situation right now. But what about getting a better backup? I know you've got Cooper Rush and or Mike White, but I don't really believe in those guys. Maybe they show some growth this offseason, but I don't quite buy into them as legitimate options for the Dallas Cowboys. So maybe you go with a quarterback, maybe you don't. In the end, it doesn't matter. I would love a veteran. I don't know if the Cowboys are actually going to go that route. So quarterback checks in at number 9. This might be the top need that ends up actually not getting filled for the Cowboys. Number 10, how about cornerback? Look, they have a really good top 4. Byron Jones, Chidobe, Anthony Brown, and Jordan Lewis. That's a really good 1, 2, 3, 4 punch. But long term, you can't keep all 4 corners. You're going to lose at least one to free agency because you can't pay Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis and Byron and Cheeto some fairly large money. So why not draft some more depth now? Get some guys that fit the Chris Richard scheme. I think that makes sense. And beyond that top 4, Goodwin, Donovan Alumba, they're bottom of the roster guys. Why not spend an extra 6th round pick to go compete with those players? That's what I would do if I'm in charge of the Cowboys. And in today's NFL, you can't have too many cornerbacks. All right, number 11. It is a need because the Cowboys use one. Fullback, Jamizo Lawali. He is a free agent. Only played 131 snaps this year. But the team's probably going to carry a fullback, so be it an undrafted free agent or you re-sign Olawale or go sign somebody else, I think they'll address fullback. But he's a fullback, so it's really not that big of a need, at least for me. And then finally, because I knew you guys would complain, kicker, number 12. Look, the Cowboys like Brett Maher, and he does remain a very cost-effective option. At the same time, there's no reason to not bring in competition, right? Go sign a camp leg. Go sign an undrafted kicker and push Maher. And maybe the other guy ends up being a really good player. Maybe you end up finding Dan Bailey 2.0 as an undrafted free agent once again. So don't draft a kicker. Don't sign big money for a kicker. But go ahead and sign an undrafted free agent kicker and let them compete in camp and in the offseason. Or in the preseason, I should say. All right, folks, if you like what I'm wearing, it's a Mizzen and Main shirt, so go get one of your own. Comfortable.af is the site. You guys are not going to find a more comfortable dress shirt, dress or otherwise, than a Mizzen and Main shirt. So go check them out, comfortable.af. All right, to recap my top team needs for the Cowboys. Defensive end, because Tank's a free agent. Wide receiver, because Cole Beasley and Austin are free agents. Defensive tackle, because I want an impact guy. Tight end, I think jury's still kind of out on Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin as a legitimate 1-2 punch at tight end. Safety, maybe get some depth or an impact guy. Offensive tackle, get a new swing tackle, especially if you end up losing Cam Fleming. Running back, I want to change a pace back. Linebacker as well, and then some other just quick notes here. Quarterback's one, cornerback is another one, fullback, and kicker. So what is the Cowboys' biggest offseason team need? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As of right now, because Tank is a free agent, or he's a pending free agent, that is the number 1 need. After that, I think it becomes Cole Beasley and the receiving core, or it becomes David Irving losing and that defensive tackle spot. So I think those are the top couple needs there for the Dallas Cowboys. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.